What's up, guys? Welcome to the Son of Wanda. This video is going to be a little bit different than our previous ones. Not good, not a typical video that I've done on the channel. Relatively, I've done very few compared to other YouTubers in general, but this still won't be an orthodox one. This will be quite unorthodox, but I feel it's a video that is necessary. I feel like it's a video that it needs to be put out there, and I've been inspired by other YouTubers who are willing to speak out against this this gross stuff that they're putting out from Hollywood and the opinions of certain people. Well, I say opinions, more like very skewed beliefs of how the world works. And so I feel like it is my duty and my responsibility to stand up for what's right, stand up for what I know is right, stand up for what I believe in, like these other people are. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he is the Lord and Savior of the universe. And I believe that he came and died and was tortured for us so that we could live eternal lives. And I would like nothing more than for you viewers to be saved if you aren't. And one of the reasons I wanted to start this channel in the first place is because I feel like it's a medium where I can get the message out to people. And it's not a message that benefits me. I suppose it benefits me in the sense that it gives me gratification to know that people are listening, like you guys. It gives me gratification to know that I'm not alone and that other people are hearing the word and hearing the truth, hearing what I know is the truth. Not because I'm awesome, not because I know everything, but because I believe it. And I mean, if we just look at all the different movies and books and whatnot that have like the message of belief inside of it, the message that we love to watch on TV, we love to see these characters believe in something and fight for something. And that's what I'm doing now. Unfortunately, many of the people in Hollywood feel that they are those characters. They're the heroes of their own story. But in fact, they are not the heroes, and that's what we'll be getting into today. So recently, this article was posted by Polygon. It's a news website. And the title of the article is She-Hulk director wanted to make a sex-positive show that kids could also watch. Now, if we're being honest, you could just look at that title and be like, that's messed up. But this is just merely an example of the disgusting viewpoints that Hollywood has been pushing of late. And I mean, all of you guys know that I did not like She-Hulk if you watch my previous reviews. I really don't like the show. In fact, I think I hate the show. And I hate it more so now because of what this has revealed. And it's just, they keep pushing this ideology, different kinds of ideology, but in the same vein of this, across all forms of different mediums. And I just noticed that general quality of filmmaking and TV show making and writing and all that stuff has just been dropping. I'm not a horror movie guy, but I watched a snippet of one of my YouTubers that I like to watch on YouTube. The channel is Sean Chandler Talks About. I highly recommend him. He's one of the few clean YouTubers on YouTube, and he doesn't cuss or anything. And he posted his review for Halloween Ends because he likes horror movies, and even he said that one was bad. And it was telling for me because I solely watched the snippet of the review out of curiosity, because I was like, well, if quality has dipped this much in just superhero stuff and, Rings of Power, whew, that one's hard. In truth, I didn't watch the show, but I know enough of what happens, and I've seen this, I've just seen enough to, I don't want to watch the show. I don't want to waste hours of my life watching this it sounds like a piece of garbage. I think it is a piece of garbage, just based on the story choices they chose. And so, yeah, I'm not into it. So, yeah, just general quality, I feel like it's just dropped. I mean, last year's Marvel content was like the most Marvel's put out in a year, 2021. You got WandaVision, you got Falcon and Winter Soldier, you got Loki, you got Black Widow, you got What If, you got Shang-Chi, Eternals, No Way Home, Hawkeye, all of those. And I feel like only 2 were really good, and only 2 others, I guess, were decent. And the 2 I thought were at least decent were Shang-Chi and Hawkeye. I have a lot of problems with Shang-Chi, and I do definitely have some problems with Hawkeye. But they've definitely fallen into the decent category, where everything else was just subpar or just terrible. No Way Home and Loki were my favorites. But in general, it's like they just don't seem to know how to write good content anymore, especially how to pay off stuff. I mean, we saw that in the finale of She-Hulk. I mean, you have all that build-up in the season of like, the villain is stealing her blood, and he's gonna use it for some evil purpose, and all this and all that, and then we just don't do anything with it and just resolve the character plot lines like that. But you all know why I don't like She-Hulk, so the purpose of this video is mainly just to talk about this. So, She-Hulk director wanted to make a sex-positive show that kids could also watch. Let's break down what she actually says. I'll just get to the main parts where she starts talking about it. Let's start with this line. And while Quaro, I think is her last name. I literally don't know how to pronounce her name. She's the director. And while Quaro was thrilled to stage daredevil hallway fights in the momentary season finale brawl between Hulk, Hulk King, Abomination, and She-Hulk, which she reveals thanks to a loopy schedule was the first scene she actually shot for She-Hulk, and the CGI would probably dictate that. Probably the worst. No, I take that back. Scar's CGI was the worst. I don't know if I've ever seen a more horribly designed character. And I mean, we thought the mullet was bad. That haircut deserves, that's just sinful. I'm almost at a point where I'm begging for mullets to come back after seeing that haircut. Anyway, she reveals that the Hulk King climax of the finale was the first scene she shot. And it says she was excited to take the series to uncharted places in the MCU, specifically the bedroom. Now, there are several things you could point out from this line. One of them being, the bedroom is not actually an uncharted territory from the MCU, because the very first MCU movie, actually, I'm stuttering over my words, had featured a scene in it between Iron Man and a reporter that he hooked up with at the beginning of that film. So it's not uncharted territory. I wish that scene wasn't in the first Iron Man movie, but it is. And I don't like it either. But in general, that's just a simply inaccurate statement. And I'm pretty sure there was also a scene like that in Eternals. So she's kind of wrong. She goes on to say, we always felt like there was a fear around sex and around the idea of sex positivity, Quaro says. Now I'm going to be solely honest with you guys. I don't even know what sex positivity means. Not in the ideology that this girl has. I got nothing. It boggles my mind. It's one of those things. It's so ludicrous. I got no idea what it is. I just don't. I can't read that line and say that's what sex positivity means. I assume what she's trying to say is we're trying to promote sex positivity in shows and movies now to get children to watch these things and be like, hey, sex, that's what that is. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, if you think that's a good thing, that's a problem. That is a problem. We'll get to why. Anyway, but the general line of we always felt like there was a fear around sex, around the idea of sex positivity in the MCU, there's a stupid line because they mistake decency for fear. One thing that Marvel has definitely not been perfect on, but they have definitely been light on, which is a good thing, in the overall MCU, at least up to now, is the sex scenes. There haven't really been any other than the first scene in Iron Man 1. There's innuendos every now and then, stuff implied, but there have not been a lot of just blatant sex scenes in the MCU, which is why most of them probably get their PG-13 ratings. And contrary to this director's belief, that is a good thing, because sex scenes don't belong in superhero movies. I just don't feel they do. I don't feel sex scenes really just belong in any movie. I feel it is perfectly... The directors and writers are perfectly capable when they are writing a story that requires two people to have sex, girl and a boy to have sex, that they can write it to where it's implied. They can kiss, walk in a bedroom, you know what happens, you don't need to see it. You can imply it, you can state it, but you don't have to show it. And I do not understand the incessant need that Hollywood seems to have, that they have to show every little thing that happens in the bedroom when something happens in the bedroom. I understand that it might be important for certain plot points, but it's not. But you don't have to show it. You just don't have to show it. But this all goes back to the fact that sex is not what Hollywood thinks it is. There's this culture in our day and age called the hookup culture. A lot of you probably know it. It's essentially the idea that, just people run around and have sex with everybody. Frivolously. Sex is menial. Sex is not something to be treated like it's holy, not something to be treated like it's sacred, not something to be treated like it matters in any way other than pleasure. So people use it as such. They use it as, getting drunk for pleasure, or going on drugs for pleasure, or smoking stuff for pleasure. It's in that same vein when you abuse it like the way they do, but they don't see it like that, because sex doesn't have any direct effects to their health. Even so, in some cases, unfortunately, it has. But yes, the hookup culture is not good, because it is essentially teaching people that sex can be had whenever you want, however you want, with whoever you want, and you just go from person to person. You don't actually develop any bonds with anybody. Sex is something that is meant to join two people. Join a boy and a girl. Join a dude and a chick. They're supposed to join the man and woman in holy matrimony and make them one being. One and one become one, and that is the mystery, as the Bible says. So it's an intimate thing. Sex is a very intimate thing. It is a sign of a deep relationship. And in fact, it's more than that. It is not just a sign of a deep relationship, because a boyfriend and girlfriend can have a deep relationship. It is a sign that they are committed to each other in a bond of marriage. That's what it was designed for. That's how it was meant to work. But Hollywood has been one of the main contributors in stripping that away. Acting like that part of sex isn't there. Turning it into what She-Hulk portrays. She has sex with 3 dudes in this season, over the course of the season, and none of them are intimate. None of them are because they genuinely, even like I believe you should only have sex when you get married. Even that aside, none of the relationships and that she develops in this show are past a few days, and she's already having sex with him, and there's no depth, there's no intimacy, there's just, hey, you're hot and I'm hot, so let's have sex. It's frivolous to the directors, it's frivolous to the writers, it doesn't matter to them. They view it as sex positivity, they view it as portraying something that should only be private. Sex between 2 people should be private. We don't need to see it. There's no point in seeing it. It offers us nothing that helps us. It offers only stuff that hurts us, because seeing that kind of stuff, first of all, it's just perversion. Because you see it, and you immediately think, oh, that's how it's going to be for when I have it with somebody. Keep in mind, it's a movie. Keep in mind, it is a show. These things are portrayed in film and television to be glamorous, to look great, to look exactly how the director and writer want it to look like for the sake of, guess what, entertainment. Because that was the original purpose of TV and film, was to entertain people. But Hollywood has seemed to not get the memo. Instead, they want to constantly push their agendas, push their politics, and push all this stuff in their shows and movies. And they don't care about entertaining us anymore. They just care about getting their sending a message. It's not about money. It's about sending a message. To quote the Joker. But yes, the fear around sex and sex positivity was decency in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was a sense that you should not put this on television because they knew kids were going to watch it, and because kids watch it, they don't need to see two people having sex because kids are innocent. Lo and behold, they're innocent children. All children are innocent. They do not have the maturity to... They shouldn't even know what that is at the ages she's suggesting. We'll get to that later. But they shouldn't even know what that is. They shouldn't know or understand what it is. Because sex is amazing when it's treated like it should be, which is sacred, and in the context of marriage. And also, sex is volatile. Mistreatment of sex has destroyed more lives in the United States of America, in the world, over the course of human history, than a lot of other things. Because, which means clearly it's important, and clearly it's intimate, and clearly it's not meant to be messed around with. Clearly it's meant for more than that. Sex is not like eating popcorn. But she continues, so it was our job to keep having the conversation about sex positivity, I guess. We wanted to say, look, she's a woman in her 30s navigating modern life. Sex is a part of that story. And ask, how far could we go? Now, it is true they could have gone farther, but they went pretty far. So they succeeded in their goal. I hope they're happy, because now they've just, for the kids who have actually watched this, for the parents who have allowed their children to watch this, I hope they are now happy that those kids and girls are going to look at that lifestyle that Jen Walters has in the show and say, I want to be like her. I want to be like Jen Walters. I want to do the stuff that she does because she has fun. And she only cares about herself. That's the message that this show is teaching. I want to just have sex with whoever, destroy my life, and destroy my relationships, because that's all I care about. Because that's exactly what Jen is. She's selfish. She's arrogant. All she's looking for is sex. You just see her dating profile in episode 5, and you see it's just sex with her. That's all it is. No intimacy, no love, no actual love. So much of our culture today wants to preach love, but their version of love is not actually love. God's love is love, and this is not love. Because it's funny because throughout the whole course of the show, she's constantly talking and complaining about, oh, I want to date this, I want to date that, I want to date this guy, but this guy's hot, and I want to date him, yada, 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 got his shirt off, let me have sex with him now, da, 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 da. And she always acts like she's, vibing with them. Like when Matt Murdock comes on the scene in the second to last episode of the show, she's like, were you guys feeling... She breaks the fourth wall and after she had a conversation with him, and she's like, were you guys feeling that? Because I was really feeling that. He just seems like a nice guy. And at first you're like, okay, maybe this is actually going to be a healthy relationship with her. And sure enough, when he suggests a very gentlemanly thing to suggest, let's have dinner when I come back, he does not even seem remotely concerned with getting her in the bed. She immediately goes to, let's get in the bed. And these women wonder why they are so objectified. That they're objectifying themselves. They're turning themselves into objects. Likewise, they're turning men into objects. It's not okay. These are people, and they have what's called love. Jennifer Walters does not love anyone in this show. At least not any dude. I mean, she, loves her parents, I guess, loves her best friend, but actual, like, relationship, like, romance stuff, she doesn't love Daredevil. She didn't love Josh or the doctor she got into bed with. She doesn't love these people, and love never came up. She never did once say, I just want to be able to love somebody, or want somebody to love me. She meant in, like, the superficial sense, like, I want people to love Jen, to really, really like Jen, is what she's essentially saying. But not love in, like, actual deep, intimate sense. But, they went far with it, and that's great to them. Maslany was game to take the character there. I know it's something that's very important to her, this idea of sex positivity and kind of smashing the rules when it comes to women, the way they're perceived. Smashing the rules when it comes to women and the way they're perceived. They are putting women in a light that skews modern young audiences' perception of women. Great examples of good female characters that teach little girls good things. All the female characters in Lord of the Rings. Not Rings of Power. They are two completely different things. Rings of Power is not Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings is not Rings of Power. The female characters in Rings of Power, garbage. Female characters in the actual original Lord of the Rings trilogy, phenomenal. Take Galadriel, for example. She's very feminine. She wears these flowy dresses and has sweeping hair, and she's beautiful. But she's comprised of this light and this magic and this wonder, and you just want to know more about her. And yeah, granted, she has that one little spell where she gets crazy over the ring, but I mean, everybody got crazy over the ring. And she gives Frodo this gift that helps him fight his way through the darkness. I would hope that little girls would aspire to be Galadriel. Maybe an even better case, Arwen, who saves Frodo in Fellowship of the Ring. So many women these days complain about there's not enough women in TV and television, that they're underrepresented. And apparently the female characters that were there up to this point aren't good enough. I would like to know how the actresses who playing the former female characters feel about these girls' opinions. Because you know who another great female character is? Gamora, Black Widow, Pepper Potts, Nebula. Nebula! What a great redemption arc. She starts out in Guardians of the Galaxy as about as evil as possible. And she's just crazy and just vengeful over her sister and the fact that she was always favored by Thanos more than Nebula was, and so Nebula wanted revenge against her, but she also hated her father because her father turned her into a monster, and she was just bittered by all of this crap. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, one of the things it did great was turn her character around. Like, in the actual story, like, give her a redemption arc. She has this moment where she's talking about how the horrible things that Thanos did to her. And so you understand her plight better. Not that you didn't before. But then she, attacks Gamora, and then Gamora fends her off. And then they just realize that they just wanted to be sisters. They wanted to be friends. They wanted to have that camaraderie of being siblings. And then, like, the best moment of redemption for Nebula is in Endgame, where she literally destroys her old self. Her old self, who was evil, who was bittered, who was weighed down by the things of her past. Nebula destroyed that version of herself and embraced what was found anew, and the fact that she now embraces that she loves her sister, and none of the stuff that happened in the past matters to her anymore. That is a great story arc. That is phenomenal. And it's not even just, forget limiting that into Nebula being a role model for little girls. She can be a role model for anybody. The Black Widow can be a role model. The Wonder Woman, all these good female characters can be role models for anybody, because it's not about the fact that they're female. It's about the fact that they're good characters and teach good things and have good stories that are compelling. That they don't get their powers in the first 5 seconds and immediately knows how to use them. She-Hulk. Rings of Power Galadriel. Captain Marvel. Rey. The list goes on. The new live action Mulan. All of these new feminist icons aren't actual feminist icons. They're just promoting this idea that the girls don't have to work to get anything, and they can just be as powerful as they want to be, and they're not going to have any flaws, and life's just going to be great. It's not the way it works for people. Just not. All people are different. But one thing that remains consistent is life will not always go great for these people. It was Nebula's love for her sister that turned her to the good side. Likewise, it was Arwen's love for Aragorn and her. When she saw the fact that she would have a child eventually with Aragorn, she didn't want to miss out on the beauty of having a kid. Being able to raise a child and watch him grow and watch him become the great person that he'll eventually be. And she wanted that honor of being able to be a wise mother to this boy that she and Aragorn would have. That's a beautiful thing. Nobody could tell me that they don't watch that scene in Lord of the Rings and be like, single tear. That's beautiful. She literally sacrifices her immortality. Not because she's weak and feels like she needs to rely on a man for her to be useful in life. No. It's stupid. Men and women are equal. God created them equal. They each have their roles. Arwen came back, not because of that crap, but because she had love in her heart. Real love for Aragorn. And she had that wonder of just looking at her son, looking at the life she could have. And she did not care whether she could live forever. It's ironic because so many of the plot lines chosen by the bad guys in different movies and TV is they want to live forever. They want to be immortal. They want to have the power of God. And yet, you have this great example and this noble character arc for Arwen that's like, yeah, I can live forever, but I would rather have a son and a family. I don't care about being immortal. She even sacrificed her general life because immediately when she came back, she was dying because of how evil Sauron was and his evil spreading through Middle-earth. She knew about that. She knew that she was taking that risk, or the possibility of that happening. But she wanted that life because she loved. Because she was a good person. She was not a flawless person. She felt emotion. She felt real pain when she had to leave Rivendell. She felt pain when she had to leave her dad, when Aragorn had to leave. She feels pain. Éowyn also, a niece of King Theoden. She felt pain when her uncle died. She felt pain. These characters can feel things. Wonder Woman felt bitter sadness when Steve Trevor was blown up in the plane. Black Widow felt bitter sadness when Hulk left her in Age of Ultron. And she felt bigger anger when Loki decided to use Hawkeye as a pawn. Hawkeye, who was her best friend and was a man. And they didn't have a romantic relationship. Hawkeye already had a wife, even though we didn't know that at the time of the first Avengers movie. But still, she loved her friend and didn't want him to be mind-controlled by a psychopath. So these directors and writers don't know how to write a show based on the numerous plot holes and crap in She-Hulk. And they don't know how to write good, compelling characters, especially good, compelling female ones. Because the premise and the teaching of She-Hulk is, as She-Hulk as a character in this show. In the show, not in the original Hulk cartoon 90s series in the comics. She was phenomenal in the comics, phenomenal in the Hulk 90s cartoon. That is a completely different She-Hulk. That's the real She-Hulk. This She-Hulk on this show, her teachings are have sex with whoever you want. Even if you don't really love them, or, have learned to care about them that much, it's okay, just have sex, it's fun. Don't really be that concerned about saving the planet, or saving the world, or helping the people you can. It's okay. Just, focus on what you want in life. 3, waste your time on dating apps, just hoping to get in the bed with somebody. Goes back to the sex thing. And then, number 4, Complain about yourself all the time. Pity yourself. Constantly talk about how your life sucks and how everybody treats you like garbage and that your just whole world is kaput because you have a family with too many expectations. All these men are bashing you and weighing you down. So just complain about it. That is a great, empowering message to give to young girls and just people in general. When your life sucks, complain about it. Pity yourself, and everything will go swimmingly for you. Not. Black Widow did not complain about herself. Wonder Woman did not complain. You didn't see Arwen going, I have to leave Rivendell, and now I will lose my immortality if I go back. Oh, woe is me. No. She didn't complain. She didn't complain. She had more integrity than that. Moving on. Paragraph after next. She-Hulk is easily one of the horniest shows currently streaming on Disney+. And for that, this is the article writers, whoever wrote this article, this is them speaking. And for that, one of the most refreshing. Can I ask, what is so refreshing about seeing a woman, or a man, I don't really care, date a bunch of the opposite sex trying to have sex with them? Why is that so refreshing? I think the reason it's so refreshing to these people is because sex has been so, the perversion of sex has been so normalized that everybody does it now. So for people who don't understand that it's been perverted, they're just like, oh, it's so refreshing. I finally get to relate to somebody about my struggles of always trying to have sex with people when I can't have sex with anyone. Also, newsflash, life has more meaning than sex. You can do more important things in life than have sex with someone. There are different things that are available. Options. People have options. People don't really seem to understand that they have options and instead want to keep complaining about the things that actually don't matter all that much in relevance to, and in She-Hulk's case, saving the world. Being a superhero. Which could be compared to, just general people. They're more concerned about having sex than getting an actual job, well-paying, and having a life, finding actual love. Finding actual love that's not just meant to be one date and then bam. Okoro says that her goal was still to deliver a show that could play to the broader youth-skewing Marvel audience. The director says She-Hulk is the first show she's ever really worked on where she was receiving voicemails from 9-year-olds begging to hear what happened next. If I need to be the one to tell you that it's a problem, all this, then it's kind of a problem that you don't think it's a problem, all this. 9-year-olds? 9-year-old children were sending voicemails to the director? So what she's saying is parents not only let their child see the show, even given how inappropriate it was, even given how gross it was. Parents not only let their child see the show, they allowed their 9-year-old children to send the director voicemails begging her to see what happened next in the series. Okay, first of all, the series didn't really end on many episodes didn't really end on a what's gonna happen next, especially one that would interest children. So one of two things: either the parents just flat out told their kids, one of three things: either the parents just flat out told their 9-year-old children, hey, send this voicemail saying all these things, send it, it'll be great, because we're talking to the director, because we like this show for some stupid reason. 2, the director's flat out lying, because I think that's perfectly possible given the reputation of Hollywood and the people in it. 3, the kids were, because of the way the parents have taught these children for the past 9 years apparently, the kids have been geared toward noticing these things in these shows. Because I'm assuming she's talking about the sex scenes. I'm assuming she's talking about those moments, that that's what the whole paragraph is about. That's what the whole article is about. That the kids just can't wait to see who's gonna have sex next. That is gross. That is sickening. That is sickening, sickening, sickening. These are children. Children shouldn't even be a thought in their heads. And the fact that these parents allowed that to be a thought in their heads is disgusting, and they should not be their parents anymore. So yeah, 9-year-olds begging to hear what happened next. It's just mind-boggling. Awful parents. And her parents and the director's parents and friends, who normally didn't watch Marvel movies, were hooked on She-Hulk. She needs to get new parents and friends. There was a greater responsibility and challenge to make She-Hulk be everything for everyone without losing its commentary. And people say the show's not political. Well, they're wrong. We wanted to make it realistic and about a woman navigating sex, but also make it something that everybody can enjoy, including children, because there is an element of the show that is really fun for young people. There you have it, folks. Also make it enjoyable for children. My little brother, I love my little brother. No way in heck would I ever let him touch this show, because it is stupid and teaches awful things to children. The fact that the director wrote this show, or the director directed the show and then the writer wrote the show, intending for it to be watched by children? Do you see why everybody's so concerned about the way Hollywood is heading these days? Do you see why everybody freaks out when there's a new stupid message promoted in one of these movies? What does that mean for younger audiences? Children. They wanted to teach kids about sex, which is something that only their parents should teach them about, and their parents should not teach them about it when they're 9 years old. They wanted to teach kids about sex and show it in the worst light possible. The She-Hulk writers and directors were actually trying to teach children that the stuff that She-Hulk does in the show is okay. It's not okay. That's why I made the video. I planned not to get this into the disgusting, politics and all that of these different shows. But here's what I will say. Marvel's been heading down this road. They've been heading down this road for a while now. It came largely about in 2019 with Captain Marvel and put some stuff in Endgame, and it's like they've been shoving nails in their own coffin for a couple years now. I would love to know that Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars are going to be great. I would love to know that the future Marvel projects, especially the ones of Phase 5 upcoming, are all going to be good. But if this is the path they continue to remain on, if the ways and ideologies of these people who are woke, and some people don't like that term, but wokeness is a real thing, because this is a woke ideology. If they continue to head down this path, I hate wokeness. I will stand against it. I know it's wrong because the Bible says it's wrong, and so I'm going to have to comment on it. When a new show or movie comes out, I'll hopefully be reviewing Black Adam for you guys when it comes out this week. And when I review that movie, I'm speaking that it won't have any wokeness in it. I'm just going to say it's not gonna. I'm going to be awesomely elated when it does. But as for other projects, if they have wokeness in them, That's going to be one of the reasons I don't like it. That's going to be one of my criticisms against it. And if I'm going to make honest reviews for you guys, unless you guys don't want me to be honest, which if you guys don't want me to, then there's really no point in me doing a YouTube channel. If you guys don't want me to be honest, then, you know. But, yeah, I will comment on it, because it will be one of my honest criticisms. Marvel wants to keep playing the game. I will keep backlashing them. Because it is necessary. Because of the children. Save the children. That's what this is. That's what this article is conveyed. We need really to protect our kids. Even actual kids' content these days, or in this case, content that was not specifically geared toward children but meant to be partially watched by children, that if they think that's the kind of lessons that kids need to learn, I would hate to see them actually direct or write a kids show, and I would hate to see and what they actually think is kid friendly. Clearly they think this is like, what is kid friendly for these people? What is the new Batman movie kid friendly? No, it's not. Parents, don't let your kids watch that. Ode to parents. Just because it's animated doesn't mean it's kid friendly, and just because it's Batman doesn't mean it's kid friendly. Holy mess. Definite no on that one. I'm not saying the movie sucked. I'm just saying it ain't kid friendly. It should have been rated R. That was a R rating that it definitely should have gotten. How many F-bombs a movie has should not dictate whether it gets an R rating or not. I mean, I feel like, you know, if these people actually cared, who are making the movie, who sees it, and what audiences are appropriate to see it, they would have put an actual R rating on this thing. And She-Hulk would have gotten higher than a TV-14, because kids can watch Mandalorian. Unless parents are, like, kind of iffy on some of the violence in it, then sure. But in general, kids, other than that, kids can watch Mandalorian. Not She-Hulk. No. I think people's version of kid-friendly these days is, oh, if it's not a horror movie, then it's got to be kid-friendly. If it's not rated R and it's not a horror movie, it's definitely kid-friendly. Oh, could they be wrong? No more wrong. No, they can't. They can't be more wrong at all. Just because it's animated, just because it's Batman, just because it's not R-rated, just because it doesn't have blood spewing everywhere, doesn't mean it's kid-friendly. She-Hulk, you know, not that much violence, although she did have that one episode where she was turning demons, like spewing demon guts, which is just gross. I can't imagine any kid would actually want to see that. They're kind of disgusting, and I don't want kids to see that. And the language in this show, it wasn't as prevalent as it's been in other superhero projects, but still, you don't need it. It doesn't add anything, and yet they still want kids to watch it. So they want kids to say bad language, learn to have sex whenever they want, when they get older. They want kids to be selfish. They want kids to only pity themselves and not actually realize that they themselves have flaws and need to work out their problems in life. None of that. They just want basically anything that's not uplifting, not empowering, and not encouraging for children. They want all the bad stuff. They just want suck it in their faces with disgustingness. I will be here because the Lord is with me. I'm one with the Lord is with me. I will be here to combat this garbage. So yeah, more shows and movies coming again. They want to teach this crap? I will be doing another one of these videos. Thank you for watching The Son of Wonder. Thank you for watching my very long video. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You don't have to like it. I guess just subscribe. But thank you guys so much. Have a blessed day. May the Lord be with you. Goodbye. Let's wrap.